Hey everyone, welcome to Gilded Reviews. Today we're going to be taking an early access first look at Airships, Conquer the Skies, the new strategy builder from developer David Stark. This game is so unique that it may be off-putting to some. However, this is an experience that you will not find anywhere else, and it has a remarkable amount of depth once you dive into the game. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at Airships, Conquer the Skies. The game is set up with a few different modes. You have missions, conquest, design and fight, and lastly, multiplayer. I do want to bring up really quick that the community loves the developer. He is always in contact and constantly updating the game, letting them know what he's going to do and taking in their advice and listening to what they have to say. Now, when I originally booted this up, I was under the impression that it was mainly a multiplayer game, and that was really my fault. I didn't read through everything that was going on with the game. But I had a buddy pick it up with me. We jumped straight into the multiplayer, which in retrospect was a mistake. This game's mechanics are surprisingly complicated, and taking the time to learn everything will really help. The music is still in its very early stages. There seems to be a couple of different tracks, but it can get repetitive after multiple hours. The sound effects are nice, but still need some work as well. Overall, the sound does what it needs to, but not a whole lot more. The art style in Airships is definitely a difficult one to grade. At first, I really didn't like it, but over time I see why it is the way it is, and it works really well within the genre. Everything needs to interlock and fit together. Because of this, pixel art works great. All I'm saying is this game is beautiful in its own way. It may not be for everyone, but go ahead and really watch the video and you can see the attention to detail the developer brings to this relatively complex title. Let's go ahead and move on to the controls. Now this is where the game starts to feel a little clunky. I am not talking about the controls inside the actual matches, but the controls within the menu. This is not game breaking or anything like that, it just seems unfinished, which it is. So hopefully we will see a little more work here as well. It's just a little rough when you're playing a multiplayer match and you need to turn down the sound, and when you hit escape you get backed out of the game. Thankfully the game allows you to jump right back in, but getting used to these little nuances can be a frustrating journey. The other control problem arises within the game's main mode, Conquest, and it's not really a controller problem, it's just everything moves really fast and it's sometimes hard to keep up even though you can pause the game. Now this is just my opinion, but honestly I feel like the best part of this game is the Conquest mode. Building ships and all that is fun, but there is really something about Conquest mode that takes you back to those old NES strategy games. In this mode you essentially try and take over the whole map. It is fun, engaging, and adds a ton of replayability. To be 100% honest with you guys, I was not a fan of this game until I found this mode. Before I found this mode, I understood what the game was and how it might appeal to people, but I didn't see the driving force behind the overwhelmingly positive reviews. Everything changed once I found Conquest mode. I spent hours sitting in the ship builder, figuring everything out. I really started to understand why people love this game. It just takes a little exploring. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this mode and why I love it so much. Conquest allows you to not only dominate the world, but also do it with easy to assemble assets that you get to build yourself. Of course, if you want, you can always just download something from the already massive collection building in the Steam Workshop. You can build anything you want, and once you understand the system, it can be a lot of fun to experiment with different creations. Let's get back to the game mode. You start out with one stronghold that allows you to build defenses in the shape of ships, buildings, or land ships. You can import previously created designs, creations you have made yourself, or ones you have downloaded from the workshop. From here, it is completely up to you. You can build a massive force for defense or build something for dominance and raid the other cities. There is an income and spending system that still seems to be in the works. They also have a small spy system in place that I honestly like more than the one in Civilizations. Once a battle starts, you enter the game's combat mode. Here you begin by setting up your ships and hitting start. Once the battle begins, you have free control over all of your ships. You can even order your units to board the enemy ship, effectively making it fight for your side. Or you can just line up bombers and drop bombs on the enemy's defenses. Everything in this mode is extremely tactical. You can pause the game to move multiple ships at once, organize flanking attacks, drop ships that are being destroyed on enemy buildings. It really can be a lot of fun and offers a wide variety of gameplay. This mode unfortunately can feel a bit restrictive just based on the fact that there isn't a lot of room, and your ship's lift dictates how high it can go on the map. So just keep that in mind. Don't have a million ships, try and build a couple really strong ships. That way you're not running into each other on your side of the map. The overall addictiveness of this game comes from its mechanics. The system seems simple at first, but once you dive into the game, you really start to realize just how deep this title can get. The Conquest mode keeps you coming back in a way few games can. Now keep in mind this is a $10 title, so it isn't a massive game you will get hundreds of hours out of. For me, anything that is $10 that I can get more than 5 hours of enjoyment out of is a good find. That is easy to get here, especially if you explore some of the shipbuilding mechanics. Now just who is this game for? Unfortunately, I think it is a smaller group, so the multiplayer might suffer. In reality though, that isn't a bad thing. This game has solid mechanics and is a great experience for anyone looking at shipbuilding titles. And that's really what Airships Conquer the Skies is all about. And it's fun, if that's your thing. I do understand how people can find these systems tedious. In fact, I do myself. But the Conquest mode gave me the incentive I needed to build something bigger and badder than the next kingdom. Overall, I definitely recommend this title to anyone interested in shipbuilding or conquest games. It is quirky and may not be for everyone, but it does offer a lot for its $10 price tag. If you have any comments about the game, or if you're interested in purchasing it and have any questions, feel free to post in the comments and I'll do my best to respond. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. We are a pretty new channel focused on anything gaming. If you guys liked what you saw, go ahead and give us a thumbs up or click on our icon to subscribe. It really helps us out. We release new videos every few days.